I like, click, subscribe, do all that. You already know what time it is. It's Netflix time. This series is called Open Your Eyes. It's about 6 episodes. It's 40-something minutes apiece. Episode 1, spoiler alert, let's just get it. So we start off with this girl, she's having a nightmare. And when she wakes up, she has this rash on her arm. Some type of watch or communicator on her arm. When she wakes up in her room, she keeps hearing this intercom telling her about the things that she remembers and the things she doesn't remember. So the thing is, she's been in some type of facility for like 4 days. And she's in the second stage of her symptoms for amnesia. So we found out her parents died, but she don't know how. She doesn't remember her name. She doesn't even know how she got there. She doesn't have a name right now, so they start calling her in. She goes around exploring the area, and she hears music coming from out of nowhere. She sees this little kid. When she calls out to him, he just dips out. Then she sees where the music coming from. This guy named Simon's doing choreographed dances. And I guess she thought she remembered something by hearing the music. Then these people come out of nowhere. This girl's name is Isabella, and she befriends In. Then she talks to this lady by the name of Dr. Nowinski. Apparently she's supposed to have therapy sessions with her. But in between that time, they go to the cafeteria. Now during all this time, they talk about some guy named Adam that escaped. But apparently he's back in the facilities. But how he got back was anybody's guess. Later on, she's back in her room and she notices that all the little kids are outside. And she's wondering why all the littler kids stay outside and the grown-ups stay in the rooms. Then all of a sudden they try to run away as all these birds come flocking around. Then we get Isabella getting out the shower. So her talent seems to be drawing, and she drew Adam a while ago. But Ann is trying to figure out what her talent is and she doesn't remember. Then she has her therapy session with Miss Nowinski. Then she starts to remember how she was a kid and a lady took care of her that had black hair. She remembered it was her aunt, but she can't remember her name. Then when she was starting to remember her name, this chick named Wanda tried to escape. She was about to cut her wrist. Then she puts this doll in her face to distract her. I guess that was something Wanda came in there with. And it distracted her long enough for the guys to get a hold of her and contain her. Meanwhile, while that's going on, In goes into Miss Nowinski's office and she writes down some stuff that she's seen in her own profile. Now what she wrote down, I'm not exactly sure. She wrote it on her arm just before Miss Nowinski came back. Then she goes into the computer room. Turns out she was looking up what was going on with her second stage of amnesia. Basically, she's got a rare form of it where she can't remember short-term or long-term stuff sometimes. And by the way, the bracelet on her arm is to indicate that she's a patient there, so she'll be able to take her meds. Where the hell is this facility at where they got him in the middle of nowhere? So she was in her room sleeping for a little bit. Then she gets woken up to somebody screaming the name Carolina. And she starts wondering to herself, is that her real name? Then she looks out the window and sees a raven sitting in front of her window while it's raining. She turned away and then looked back again, and there was nothing there, just sun shining and no ravens. Then she starts exploring again. Then she hears somebody playing the piano. She's listening to somebody in the closed door playing the piano, and she actually remembers the piece. Exactly what it's called. The doctor comes to him and tells him that's Adam in there playing that piece. We're like, okay, who the fuck is Adam? So Mr. Nowinski helps her back to the lunchroom so they can eat. In the lunchroom, there's only this one little girl sitting at the table. And she's trying to figure out how come she's the only little girl sitting at the table. Where are the other kids? They tell the other kids have parents, they get to go home, but she's the only orphan. Later on, they all get together to play poker, but Ann forgot how to play poker. She gets frustrated and dips out the room. Then the other little girl pops up out of nowhere again and gets In to follow her into this room. The little girl walks into the room, but she ends up getting caught. Ann hides behind the piano. Then after they go, she starts playing the piano. Then while she's playing, all of a sudden this guy pops up, and we find out this guy is Adam. We found out of all the people she's been around, she's the most comfortable around him. And she's not really sure why. So she's teaching him how to play a certain song correctly. Miss Nowinski comes and interrupts. And when they introduced themselves without hesitation, she told him her name was Julia. So it's like, oh, that's her name. Her name's Julia. I guess it was something about Adam that triggered part of her memories. So next day we find out she was born on February 6th. She remembers how her parents died. They died in a fire. She starts to remember the friends that she made at the clinic. She remembered her favorite subject in school was gym and exercise and all that. Certain things are coming back to her. Now just look at this establishment. Looks like a house / castle or something like that, right? But it's like in the middle of nowhere. So right at the back of this show, you can tell her and Isabella are becoming best friends. So then after they have lunch, they start trying to figure out the mystery about Adam. They don't know whether he ran away or he got caught, or he just decided to come back. Then we see her walking by herself, and then somebody shouts out, Carolina again, or Carolina. She walks into the door as the girl Wendy trying to hold her mouth open. Then she tells her to listen, like, look, they're walking into your death. She tells her everything is an illusion, they're trying to kill you. Then doctors come in and stabilize her. So you're thinking to yourself, at this point, is she really crazy or was she trying to tell Julia something? Come to find out, there was actually a camera in the hallway. Then we see somebody digging through Julia's files and it had like cases of arson on it. Who was looking through the camera? None other than Miss Nowinski. The file, she took out this book, 2 rings, and this picture that's cut around. Then she pulled out this box which apparently had a sweater in it. She put the rings, the picture, and the book inside the box. Then she put it behind her in a collection where there's a bunch of boxes. What secrets they got going on out here? And automatically, we got more questions than answers. I'm gonna check out all 6 episodes. This shit gonna be crazy. Open your eyes on Netflix. Check it out. Like, click, subscribe, do all that. You already know what time it is. Like these out the easy best. Big. You got this slogan.